Hello guys from Shenzhen City. I'm happy that you're watching this video again, and in this video I will show you again some interesting places from Shenzhen City, and I will tell you slowly some more information about the success story of Shenzhen City. I first thought that I will sit down somewhere and then explain why Shenzhen is so successful based on the book I'm reading called Shenzhen奇迹, so Shenzhen Miracle, written by the chief editor Zhang Jun. And I would start this video with a quote from this book. So the success is Bingbu Yilan Yu Guoqi He Wai Qi Ashe Se Ying Qiye He Geti Qiye. So the success is not based because of state-owned enterprises or capital from foreign enterprises, but because of private enterprises and individual enterprises in Shenzhen. And with this being said, Shenzhen is now in China the most market-driven city. And right now Shenzhen is becoming more and more one of the leading cities of cutting-edge science and technology. And I said earlier before, Shenzhen was established in 1978 to one of the special economic zones in China, one of these four. And here I see one street sign. It says Shantou Dongjie. Shantou is another city in Guangdong, and which was also created as one of these four special economic zones. These were Shantou in Guangdong, Xi'an in Fujian, then Zhuhai. Zhuhai is also in Guangdong, which is close to Aumen, close to Macau, and then Shenzhen, close to Xiangang, Hong Kong, so that investment could flow from Hong Kong into Shenzhen, especially due to two reasons. These were that in Hong Kong, labor prices were just very high and not so comparative to cheaper labor prices in here in Shenzhen. And the second reason is that also the land leasing costs in Hong Kong were just way more expensive than in Shenzhen. And one cool fact, now standing in front of these high-rise buildings, I don't know if you can see it, probably yes, these huge apartment buildings here, is that in the past in Shenzhen, the workers and companies needed around 20 days to build one floor. And now nowadays they only need 3 to 5 days to finish one floor. So there's a massive increase, probably also a learning curve, and new and more labor is putting inside it. So now they can create these gaulos, these tall buildings, much faster than in the past. Before I go on telling you guys different information about Shenzhen, I think we should start with a short view on history. So in 1977, Shenzhen City only had 30,000 inhabitants, and during this time Shenzhen didn't really even exist. This place here, there was one old district, one small town, was called Bao An, just like this, Bao An. And 1977 this Bao An existed, and then Deng Xiaoping basically was the main reason why to choose Shenzhen and to establish then later this Shenzhen Jingji Techu, this economic special zone here. And in the end of 1978, the Zhongguo Geige Kaifang, the Chinese open up revolution, just started. And Deng Xiaoping was also inspired by former trips to go to Singapore or Japan. In Japan he saw the Shinkansen, the Shinkansen in Chinese, and he saw like, okay, there's technology. Or in Singapore, he saw that like with outside capital, you can get successful. So these were reasons why they established these special economic zones and Shenzhen. So the special economic zone of Shenzhen was created in 1978. Here I am in Happy Valley, Huanlegu, and I think it's over there we have a huge place I will show you soon. And over there was also like an amusement park. So two things I want to show you here. In Shenzhen you have a lot of these U stations. So it's like this propaganda stations. Yeah, this here means Shenzhen, and Weile Jiushe Shenzhen Ren Leile Jiuzu Zheyuanzhe. Zheyuanzhe is like volunteering work, volunteers. Yeah, Shenzhen volunteers. And I'm not exactly sure what kind of service they are doing here. And yeah, here it also says Ren Ren Zhong Zhong Zhe Yuan Zhe. So all people respect volunteers. Yeah, I guess if you have some questions you can go there and ask them. Yeah, and this huge place here is really crazy. So it's called Shijie Zhehu. So Shijie is the word for like a window to the world basically. And yeah, maybe I will go in, but I don't want to spend it, buy a ticket actually, because I think it will be quite expensive and actually not so worth visiting. But you have like a few Greek things, then a Roman theater, then the Eiffel Tower. That's China. Yeah, you can experience a lot of crazy things here in China. So I would say let's stay in the past and continue. So in the late 1970s, 1978, 79, 1980, Deng Xiaoping had to really careful about implementing new reforms and putting them into place, because now China had 30 years of socialism, and now with introducing these new capitalists and bringing in foreign capital, there were a lot of hardliners and critics about this new policy. They said it's like back to Minzhedi, Germany, back to this colony times, that the foreigners come and just suppress and exploit China. So he had to find like the middle way. He couldn't stay too far right, he couldn't bring too many reforms. And so basically he said things like, he was expressing that too far left can destroy socialism, as we have seen in the past. Too far right can also destroy the socialist system. So he tried to find this middle way. And he also said things like Ibufen Chengshe Xian Fujilai. So he said a few cities can first get rich. These were then cities like Shenzhen, this yeah, for instance. And why did China, why did they in the past decide to create new special economic zones in places where there's nothing basically? Like Shenzhen was created in a place with 30,000 inhabitants, right? I told you. But why not just focusing on Shanghai, Guangzhou, Beijing, Tianjin? This has also two reasons. These are, first, to remain the socialism there, to Bao An in these already quite successful cities. And the second important reason is that if you're creating new special economic zones, there you have a room where you can practice with new reforms, with capitalist reforms. And so they have created this room for experiment, which you in a already set up big city, you don't have so much room for new regulations and yeah, experience. So this is called the Shenzhen, so this experiment room. And in the first years where Shenzhen, the special economic zone, was established, Shenzhen didn't make the progress people wanted it or expected it to have. So it was like a very slow increase in development, and this is due to the fact that there was just no infrastructure yet. So the infrastructure just had to be built, and then until 1983, that was like the place, the division line. From 1983 on, Shenzhen just rapidly developed faster and faster. What did Shenzhen produce in its early times? So in the 1980s, early 1980s, what did they produce? So these were basically things like fuzhuang, like textiles, clothes, then processing of metal, jinshu. Third thing is they did nongpin, so agricultural products. Then they also did just suliaopin, so plastic things. But as you can see around me here, now this city doesn't look like it's still just like producing and manufacturing goods. No, right now it's mostly about research, development, services, and like my host, he's working for a company. His company, they are producing Chromebooks and exporting them. This company is working together with Lenovo, but their production plant is not here in Shenzhen. Here in Shenzhen is only the research, development, the accounting, and all these administrative things are here in Shenzhen. And yes, so right now in Shenzhen they still produce many things, especially like electronic goods, and so far it's mostly the hardware they produce here. And yeah, so Shenzhen shifted from manufacturing like very simple goods to more high quality goods. Here we are now a little bit further southwest in Shenzhen, and I'm in a park here, and this park here is called Rencai Gongyuan, so talent park basically. And over here you can see already the sea, one of the gulfs of Shenzhen city, smaller one. And yeah, I think I want to bring up this topic that there's one econom inside my book, and he stated that in 10 years Shenzhen will be the new, or will like have overpassed the Silicon Valley in the United States. So I quote from Zhang Wu or Stephen N.S. Choing. He said, 10年后 Shenzhen 会超越美国的硅谷. So that's basically in Chinese only saying in 10 years Shenzhen will be there where the Silicon Valley is right now. And yeah, I think this might be possible, especially because of all this work Shenzhen does to attract talent from all the world. And I think this topic here fits into this park, into this Rencai Gongyuan. And one thing in China, there are like many beautiful parks, and in these parks you have also a lot of flowers. And I think one very common thing for Chinese people is to take pictures of flowers. I've seen like so many friends of mine taking pictures of flowers. I mean, they're pretty nice, but there are pretty flowers also in Europe or in Germany, and I think I haven't seen my friends taking pictures of flowers or with flowers. Just another cultural difference. The Shenzhen Rencai Gongyuan is also the most famous park in Shenzhen, and here you can see the characters Shenzhen Rencai Gongyuan. And yeah, this park here, I think it's called Rencai Gongyuan because you have over there the sea, and then the small bay which is going a little bit into the city, and it could like signify, it could like express that the talents are getting into the city. Yeah, and first I want to state that Shenzhen city itself, their higher education, so the universities, aren't the best in China. I think the Shenzhen University, they rank around like only like at the top 20. There's the first university in China which is based in Shenzhen. But Shenzhen is focusing on attracting graduates from all places in China, and Shenzhen works as a kind of like a processing plant for talents. So fresh graduates, they should come into China, and here they can do their further research, their studies, and here they can be trained to become like better engineers, better IT guys, and can further research. This here is first of all what it looks like. Now into more detail. What kind of innovation structures does Shenzhen have, or the Zhuangxin Jizhi? And what China is also focusing at is like on international cooperations with other companies and foreign universities and research teams. So this is called then Hezuo Banxue, so like a corporate program, and therefore is China also Shenzhen here is acting as under the slogan of Rang Weilai the Gaodeng Jiaoju Wen Huo Zai Shenzhen Shenzhen. So this means to let the foreign education the foreign higher education come into China, and let it sprout here, let it like take feet. Also Shenzhen is trying to set up innovation centers called Zhuangxin Zhongxin. Especially like for instance, there's one cooperation from the US Qualcomm company with Tencent. And in 2013, the Injin Renzai, the Pingjun Nianling, was, so the average age of attracted talent was at Asheba Sui at 28 years, and to 2015 this average age of attracted talent was also going down to 26.7 years. So the people who are coming into Shenzhen are very young. And then 2017, another example, was a total number of Shi-Wan Renzai, so 10 Wan, so 100,000 talents were attracted, and out of these 100,000, 90% were younger than 35 years old. So I'm still in the Talents Park and now sitting here for like a little bit more comfort, and now I want to talk about attracting foreign talent. And there's this program which the Shenzhen government started, and like Wei Si in Shijian Ming Di de Yoshi Renzai, so for attracting the world's advanced talents. And Shenzhen wants to attract Butong Leusing Renzai, so different kinds of talents. And therefore Shenzhen city started a program in 2011 called basically the Kongque Jihua, so the Peacock Plan. And from 2011 on, the Shenzhen government focused on attracting foreign talents, and this led to that from 2011 on, now Shenzhen attracted 10,000 foreign talents which now work in Shenzhen, and another 1,000 started their own business, their own Chuangye or Chuangxin, so their own pioneering work or innovation here in Shenzhen. So why should students come to Shenzhen to study here? Is because like now not only like after graduating working here, but also for the students who study here, they got also like some subsidizing, some living allowance and also for students who do their PhD here and graduate then from a university here, they have it easier to obtain and apply for a hukou. Hukou is basically the legal residence permit which makes a Chinese person, yeah, a permanent resident of one city. This park here is really pretty nice. Look at this quiet place here. Here we have the sea, there's a lot of fresh wind, and you can imagine that in summer here people come here, chill, maybe if it's allowed do some barbecue. And yeah, thank you Juliana, my classmate from German, from the Ostasien Institute, from the East Asia Institute, to recommend me this place here, to come here, because now I'm on my way to go to the bridge which is leading to Hong Kong. Here we are at a very interesting point, guys. So what you can see down there, this all is Shenzhen city, and over this bridge here you're coming to Xiangang, to Hong Kong. And this huge gulf here is separating mainland China to Xiangang. And when Shenzhen first was created, the special economic zone was around 46 kilometers long, and only from the north to south direction only about 6 kilometers, because you can see in the back these mountains are like functioning as the natural border for Shenzhen city. And yeah, so this is Shenzhen, this is Xiangang, Hong Kong over there. And I think right now this border is closed, only to very few people it's open. Well, I'm happy to be here, interesting place. As the Chinese mainland border is closed everywhere because of trying to contain the coronavirus, trying to stop the spread of the coronavirus, you can see the only cars crossing this bridge are big trucks who are doing like business, like maybe doing some food supply to Hong Kong and then coming back and bringing stuff from Hong Kong into mainland China. So only 2 trucks this border is open. I'm here now at the Shenzhen harbor, at one of the harbors, and right now here they are constructing a new cruise liner harbor, and because it's still in construction I can't enter anywhere, but I can still walk around here. I can show you one thing. In China, for like construction workers, it's common that a few of them always live at the construction site in these blue and white containers, and you will see them all over China. Yeah, so they can work and then directly go home here. And yeah, the Shenzhen harbor I think is the second biggest harbor in all China. No, yes, Shenzhen has the second biggest harbor in China, and it is also the third biggest harbor on the whole world, measured by the ton capacity each year, the handling ton capacity. So you can see here, this one is from 2016, the Tuntuliang, and here the first one is Shanghai Gang, so the Shanghai port. Second one is Xinjiapur Gang, so Singapore port. Third one is Shenzhen. Fourth one is Ningbo, also China. Fifth one is Xiangang, Hong Kong. So another step that, yeah, shows like the importance of Shenzhen to China. Also to the, yeah, export, import and trade. I like this rhyme here. Laji Boluodi Shenzhen Geng Mei Li. So rubbish don't throw on the ground. Shenzhen will be even more beautiful. Nice, huh? This kind of propaganda, this kind of advertisement is fine, I think. Here I am now in the Bao An district, in the very far west part of Shenzhen. And Bao An was during the Qing dynasty, like the whole area here combining many huge parts of Shenzhen and also nowadays Hong Kong, I think. And yeah, but here's nothing of old things to see, a lot of new buildings only. But also quite nice and modern everything here.